Hello, everybody. We're the Geeks and the Giants. I am Menzo. This is my forever co-host Jump. Today, we talk about the Chronicles of Narnia, the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and continuation of our fantasy lineup. This also came out in 2005, and I'm sure you, as a kid, watched this a lot. Same here.
Yeah, a shit ton. And like Disney Channel would always have those like every 9 p.m. It would be like a movie, a Disney movie.
Yeah.
So I would always catch Narnia from time
Mhm.
to time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I could say that like this things have been ingrained in my head. I was like, it's my first time knowing about Turkish delight,
Yeah.
like all the scenes with the badgers. I was like, the beavers, sorry, not badgers, the beavers. I was like, God, I don't know. Rewatching it for this review brought me back because I do remember getting those like I don't know if you got those Cocoa Crunch like little toys, but
Yeah.
it's a little bit macabre of an idea, but it was a toy. So it was one of like the characters, and if you put them in a freezer or something, they will turn black as if they were frozen by the queen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you leave them out, they'll thaw. And I'm like, it used to be so cool. Then, like, going back at it, I was like, that's oh fucked.
Yeah, it's kind of
Of a
morbid,
toy.
right? The idea is like, hmm.
Hmm.
It was such a trip rewatching this movie because at first it doesn't start with fantasy; it starts with World War II, and you're like, "Did I put on the wrong thing?" But you remember the cast, and like, I'm kind of shocked they never got to be bigger stars than just Narnia.
Yeah. The other actors, you don't hear from them that much, except for the actor of Lucy and Susan.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
about.
Lucy. Yeah, Lucy's been in a couple of things. And the actress for Susan was in the Halo like miniseries, and I was like, what? I forgot
Interesting.
about that. Yeah.
Yeah, this is also our first time meeting people like Tilda Swinton and James McAvoy. James McAvoy is Mr. Tumnus. I'm like, oh right, you were here for a long time. I just didn't really focus on you.
I only found out that it was James McAvoy when I was in like early 20s. When I
Yeah,
was like 21 or when I was like 20, I was like, that was him. That was Professor X. I was like, what?
yeah,
Since when?
right. It is so cool going back to Narnia. Like the effects still hold up to this day. It's quite impressive. Like a lot of original Disney movies, their effects still hold up. Like this, Pirates of the Caribbean, and like a lot of heavy effects wise movies. You're like, I mean, what
Yeah.
happened? What happened to Disney before it became this machine that just spits out movies every year without a single soul or thought, even.
Yeah, I agree. And like the amount of depth, well, I guess they are like adapting it from the book.
Yeah,
So the writing is already there. It's just that like they committed.
yeah,
Like there are some points where I was like, this is very adult.
yeah. Like
Uh
the Queen, like she's here to like tempt Edward, but like sorry, Edmund, when Edmund like messes up, like he fails to bring in his brothers and sisters, she's like, "How dare you come to me empty-handed?" And he's like, "Wait, I thought you were nice." Like she imprisons him, and you're like, "Oh, poor Edmund, not the best
I
time."
mean, like not gonna lie, I get he's a kid. But the piece of shit ratted him out for some candy. So I'm like, uh he was like, by the way, like, my family's like buy these beavers at
Yeah,
this dam. Anyway, can I get some Turkish delights now? And I was like, I get it. You don't understand the gravity of what you just did,
yeah,
but holy shit, read the room.
all right. Also, like revisiting these movies, you're like, I wonder. I'm getting the feeling that C.S. Lewis was inspired by another book, a very religious book. That,
Biblical.
yeah, yeah. Like it's only growing up when I hear the terms like "son of Adam" or like what Aslan does after for Edmund. I'm like, huh, interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. I do like the action scenes. Like the first interaction with the wolves was pretty intense. Like when
Mm.
that one wolf was like, "Come on, son of Adam, we all know you don't got the guts." You're like, "Come on, man, just stick it in him." Even though the wolf makes a mistake, like later in the movie, I'm like, I thought you were smart, man.
Yeah, I do like it that he was voiced by God. His name escapes me, but he was from Reservoir Dogs, if I remember
Yeah, Michael
correctly.
Madsen.
Yeah, yeah, great actor, great
Yeah.
actor. I was like, his voice sounds familiar.
Yeah, I didn't really expect him to be in a fantasy movie. Same with the actor for essentially Santa Claus. Like,
Right, yeah, him.
yeah, yeah. I'm like, oh, I'm too used to you seeing you in like stuff like Braveheart or other medieval movies. I mean, this
Mm.
is a fantasy, but like still, it's quite cool seeing him here. Um, felt
Mm.
bad. Felt bad for the fox and Mr. Tumnus when they were turned to stone by the queen. Like,
Yeah, I was that Peter Dinklage,
Asu.
the fox. They never gave the name of the fox.
No,
But
that's not.
I was looking at the cast, and it sounded oddly charismatic. And I was like, is that Peter Dinklage?
No. Peter Dinklage is in the next movie as the dwarf.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And then I forgot how cool Liam Neeson as Aslan is. Like when she's negotiating with Edmund, and then she says something, and he says the meme.
Yeah. It's like, what was it like? Don't lecture me on the old
Magic.
ways of magic.
I was
I was there
there.
when it was written.
Yeah,
I was like,
exactly.
I forgot that that's where it's from.
Yeah. And like,
But like, I don't know. I do like the character of Aslan, and like Liam Neeson really brings him to life.
yeah.
Like I love these two opposing sides. I love the Queen. I love Tilda Swinton, how charismatic she was when we first saw her, to the tyrant that she is. We see at the end of this movie,
Yeah.
and we see Aslan just this ever wise but yet very mysterious kind of character. And I love it when they get to this part where they rescue Edmund, and what Edmund did is in a lot of ways very unforgivable.
Yeah.
Because he does it multiple times. But on the last one, he was trying to save a life.
Yeah.
So, understand.
Yeah. Aslan
But at the
has,
same time,
has a talk
yeah,
with him.
yeah, he's just like, bro, that wasn't cool. he's like taking him to a side. I was like, nah. But I love how he handles. Once once Aslan brings him back down to his siblings, he just tells them, what is done. Do not mention whatever happened to him.
Yeah.
Or do not lecture him on what has happened.
Yeah.
And I was like, he's already been through enough. I think.
Exactly. And the queen wants blood, and Aslan makes a deal with her, and you see what that deal is. And it's here that, like, growing up again, you're really like, wow, this is really Jesus-like, man. Like, taking on
Yeah.
the burden of what Edmund did on yourself and dying on the stone pillar instead of the cross this time.
I don't know what was up with Aslan, because the man was clearly there for the theatrics. Because you see Susan and like Lucy just like walking him down. Aslan's just like, man, I gotta do this for your brother. You know, it's a heavy heart. With a heavy heart, I have to do this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn. And then, like, when it happens, it's such a great scene, by the way, where he gets sacrificed, and
Yeah.
Tilda Swinton's like, oh, the great cat is dead.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, as a kid, I'm like, I thought he was on the poster. I thought he was supposed to be here longer.
Forever.
You know? Like, kind of deal.
Thought he was supposed to
Like,
be here
he's-
forever.
Yeah, he's Jesus, isn't he? God-esque. And then he's like, oh, I'm back. Hair grew back. By the way, there's a loophole written on this thing.
Yeah.
That if the person was like has zero fault or like has no sin, they will be resurrected if they were killed on this like
Table.
table.
Yeah.
I'm like, then why were you like making it so hard on everybody?
Yeah, he could have been just like, I gotta do this thing, guys, bye. And like,
I'll be back
yeah.
with help. Just go. Just start without me.
Right. But yeah, but Liam Neeson's cool. Like, it's funny that he's both in 2005 he's both Aslan and Ra's al Ghul, like the total opposites of whatever they have to be. Like Ra's al Ghul's the evil mentor, while Aslan's here is like the cool, wise mentor.
Yeah, like I love it that he does play good and bad
Yeah,
within 1 year because it's so like I remember watching Batman Begins
yeah,
and Narnia. And I was like, no, you can only be good in my eyes.
right. But yeah, I forgot how cool the last battle is when everybody's charging at each other. Goes pretty hard.
Dude, I don't know if you've been seeing these like videos on TikTok where it's like what do you call it? Dark fantasy esque.
Yeah,
Yeah, you know they have like the '80s synth music that you hear in like what do you call it? Like old dark fantasies.
yeah,
And I'm just like, I'm just watching this. I was like, I kind of feel it.
right.
Like just seeing like all of like Peter in the armor and everything. I was just like, I'm like, man, I want to live in a dark fantasy.
Yeah, everybody was like ready for battle. Like it goes hard. The score goes harder, and like it's just silence once they clash.
A Disney movie had no had no right to go this hard when it came to a battle.
Yeah, right.
Like the two armies were just like coming at each other, just quiet.
Yeah,
And then you hear the first clash. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I was like, oh. Even like my mom was watching it with me. Like she was beside me, and she was like, I don't remember this part. I was like, yeah.
I love the what do you call the half horse, half man?
This is the Minotaur? No. Centaur.
The centaur, that one for the queen, and like
Yeah, the one that was like dual wielding swords. I was like,
Yeah.
ah,
and then
he's so cool.
he heals that one minotaur, and then he just brings out one big sword and goes for the queen. And I'm like, yeah, go for it. Turns to stone. Oh man, well you tried your best. Yeah,
What? I mean, hey, the man did his like last stand
Yeah.
to save as much as he could. So I'm like, you know what? I'll go out the same.
yeah.
You know.
I feel bad for the ones that turn to stone and then shatter. I'm like, well, I guess Aslan's breath ain't bringing you back.
Like one fucking griffin that just like dives bombs, turns to stone, and immediately shatters and falls into a crowd of its own teammates. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, that's horrible.
Right? And then Edmund tries to save Peter, but gets the business end of the spear. I'm like, well, that's unfortunate. That sucks for you. Choreography for the actor for Peter and Tilda Swinton. Alright.
Tilda Swinton was, I would
Perfect.
say, oh, not perfect, but it was good.
Yeah.
Peter was alright, but he was like a kid who had like, what, maybe a day or two of training?
With a sword. Yeah.
Not everybody's Luke Skywalker, man.
That's true. I do like Tilda Swinton's stance with like the spear and sword combo.
Oh,
like,
where she was like that? I
Yeah.
was like, damn.
right?
Alright, Tilda.
Also, that moment when Aslan kills her, Peter's like, right, he's a lion. What the fuck was I expecting this to be?
I love how she was giving him the fuck me. I was just like, hi. And then she was like, rawr. Like, just rips off her face. I was like, I really wonder what was going through her head.
Right? She's like, maybe a second check. Like, nope,
Yeah.
not for you.
Yeah, I really don't know what was going through her head besides those teeth, but like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Then Lucy uses that potion I thought she was going to use on Aslan, but he resurrects anyway, becomes Aslan the White, so she just uses it on other people.
You're right.
Right?
You're right.
As a kid,
Well, I guess they really couldn't go to him because they're like, oh, because it's for an injury. It's not death.
oh,
They
okay,
couldn't bring back death. Yeah.
okay. But yeah, they become the kings and queens for how many years, and then they're
I would say like 20?
20 years.
15? 15 or 20 years,
Yeah,
you know? Because they look like they're like in their like late 20s.
yeah, exactly. And then they go back to their normal world, and you're like, oh, what the fuck is gonna happen to the kingdom? How are they gonna explain this?
Right. Not gonna lie. I feel like if I've had a life, in Narnia. We're like, what the fuck?
Right? Take me back, please.
No, but I like my life here.
Yeah.
But it's just like, if you're like, say, Lucy, who's just started her life because she's still a kid, you'd be like, well, fuck. I have I have the brain of a 25-year-old or something now,
Right.
and I miss everybody.
Exactly. And like I forget there's like a after credit scene that explains why they can't go back right away. I'm like, oh, now it all makes sense. I never saw that after credit scene as a kid.
Neither did I.
Yeah.
Neither did I. I didn't know they were gonna pull like a whole Avengers thing, you know?
Yeah.
Like Lucy Pevensey will be back in Avengers.
Right. I forget if the second one is any good, but like I remember liking it.
I remember it was alright. Like the first one was such a banger, and then the other two was a little bit forgettable at that point.
Yeah. I just remember the actor for Jigsaw in Netflix's Punisher being Prince Caspian. I don't know when he's in
Yeah.
Punisher. I'm like, this Prince Caspian.
Yeah, no, dude. When I was watching, I was like, this. Like, I was watching Punisher. I was like, I like this guy. This guy's oddly familiar, though.
Yeah.
You know. I was like, thank God he's a good guy. Ah, he's a son of a bitch. All right, got
Yeah.
it. Yeah, and I was like, he still looks familiar. Then I look at his IMDb. I was like, Prince Caspian. What?
Right. But like yeah, this ages greatly. Like I forgot to mention, like at the beginning when Lucy first goes to Narnia, that in real life they blindfold the actress to make it look like she's in this new world that everything's so brand new. She's like, what's going on? And in real life she's like, wait, what the fuck is going on? Can't see shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know they're making a new Narnia, but with I think it's a movie with Greta Gerwig doing the movie.
Oh, that's kind of cool. I like Greta Gerwig.
Yeah. So I think it's coming out either next year or next year. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Is it like a continuation or like?
No, totally new. It's a reboot.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah.
I saw a reboot, so it's not new.
Not new at all. It's a new cast, new people, new everything, and it's on Netflix. So I hope Netflix knows how to handle it properly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we both kind of forgot to mention that the creepy start with Mr. Tumnus. Yeah, as much as a friend he is, by the end of this movie, it's a little bit fucked up of how he went about it.
Yeah. It's like, I'm sorry, I have to kidnap you. You're like, what do you mean? What do you mean you're sorry? Can you just not do that? You know?
Yeah.
Since we're friends.
Dude, rewatching it and like watching that scene where like I know what happens here, but I didn't understand it when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But rewatching it, I was like, that is scary because he was very convincing.
Yeah.
And if he had any other doubt, if he was a little bit more scared of the Queen, he would have pulled through. And I've been like, fuck.
Alright. Also, this movie lied to us as a kid, convincing us that Turkish Delight it was the most spectacular thing on the planet. And then once you try
it, it's good. What do you mean? What fucking thing did you try? You didn't like it?
No. Must have had bad Turkish Delight then. I don't know. It was like years after Narnia.
Question: what did it taste like?
Like nothing that I was picturing.
Describe.
I can't remember.
Describe.
I can't remember.
When we cannot trust your taste buds. Turkish Delight was good.
Fine. Where did you get yours?
I loved it. Well, not from Turkey, but like
yes.
I don't know. I got mine. I think like when my tita went to the U.S. and she got some. Yeah. So I don't know if it was like adjusted to the
I was about to say
palate of the Americans, but like
we can't trust your taste buds because you had American Turkish Delight.
Fuck you! I can describe taste.
I was like 10 or 11 when I had it for the first time.
Well, I was 18 when I had mine. So
there we go. Anyway, what would you rate the Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe?
I would rate Narnia like an 8.5 in my opinion. It's such a good movie. It's a really good, I would say young adult. No.
Yeah, young adult.
Young adult to kids movie because there are 4 kids here.
Yeah.
That you could relate to. And it was magical. Even watching it now as an adult, I was like, my God, what happened to Disney movies? Where did the magic go?
right?
Because like I really did feel like this place was magical. They didn't show us like any grandiose spectacle or anything. And besides like the palace of the queen,
Yeah,
everything just looks like forest, trees, fields. That's it.
yeah,
But we do get like really good like magical creatures like fairies, nymphs, and like centaurs, minotaurs. But they still did such a good job of making the entire environment feel more magical than it is.
yeah,
Even through word itself, like how Asan says, like there are more, like Asan's kind of describing the Force. I just wonder, like there are magic here that even you and I cannot, like understand or something like that. It's like, so the Force. How much midichlorians do you have?
Oh god, oh god, not again.
Well, he is Qui-Gon Jinn.
Oh, the cycle is complete then.
Anyway, yeah, it is an 8.5 out of 10 for me. If you have a kid, you want to watch a really good young adult to kids movie that might scare them a tad bit, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, pretty good. I guess we should do like the second and the third one because I forgot how those went.
Yeah, same here. But yeah, I would rate The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe also an 8. It's a pretty good fantasy movie. Makes me wonder what happened to all the magic Disney once had in the early 2000s and the 2000s and early 2010s. I'm like, what happened to you? Thought you were cool, man. Yeah, exactly. Now you're just a machine. It's like those pictures of like McDonald's or like other kids areas where like look how magical it was back in the 2000s. Now it's just boring.
Oh, when they had like the slides and the playpen,
Yeah,
and they just stuck it out. I'm like, you sons of bitches.
right.
I think I only know one McDonald's here in the Philippines or in Manila that has that,
Yeah.
and it's all the way in Makati. And I'm like,
Oh,
I've
Joey.
never seen one. Yeah, I never seen one since.
Yeah.
And you can't go in since you're an adult. So.
I mean that makes sense. Jeez, it's for kids.
Yeah, but what if you're like, oh, it's like 3 a.m. You're out drinking. You just want to like throw up in the slide, you know?
Well, you tell me what happens then. And we'll post it here in G&G.
They won't allow me. That's the thing.
Anyway, yeah. Good effects, good story, good cast. Wish Disney had brought back the magic somehow, but I don't know if that will ever happen in our lifetimes, unfortunately. We have...
Well, we're getting new Star Wars, so
Yay.
without her in it. So
No, oh no, she's not retiring. She's staying. Yeah, Kathleen Kennedy's still staying forever. She just told people last week.
she was friends with that guy who owns the island, by the way. So then you all know.
Anyway, but yeah, good 2000s fantasy movie, and like I would highly recommend it for anyone who wants to start watching fantasy, along with like the early Harry Potters and Lord of the Rings. Because why not?
Yeah.
But yeah, to the audience watching, what's your favorite book from the entire library of C.S. Lewis? Because there's more than 3 books in my knowledge.
Yeah.
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 And whatever it is, please comment down below. If you like what you see here, please leave a like, subscribe, and ding the bell icon to get notified of when we upload next. We're also on Spotify and TikTok. TikTok to see your best and funniest moments. Spotify to yours on the go. Individually, I'm Zoe does voices on TikTok and ends Wolf on Letterboxd. Where can I find you?
Oh, you can find me at JohnJM_ on Instagram. It is Mario.com.
Until the next time, we'll see you then. Bye, everybody.
Ciao.